The circus event is in train and very exciting. The idea came from, I think, discussions over the last several years in the industry, and people felt there was a need to put an event together that would stimulate and provoke and inspire more creative thinking. And it was only in the last 12 months that we've really had the momentum on the award committee and with the Comms Council, and frankly the resources to be able to pull it off. It's quite an undertaking, and there's a lot of people who work very hard to make this happen. And I think from a standing start, it's been a great success. The circus is a festival of commercial creativity, but essentially what it is a phenomenal lineup of people, contributors who have got points of view, strong points of view, great credentials, or a new perspective on the industry, which is stimulating, which is sometimes controversial, which is occasionally subversive. But really, what it's all designed to do is elevate the quality of the conversation in the industry, really, and to remind people that creativity is such a potent force. And I'd like to think that it's the reason that most people got into marketing or into media or into agency life, is because they believe essentially in the power of creativity, and that it's a force that can make the world a better place, can make a difference, can help them make their mark on the world. If we can use this event to start building a wider conversation, I think particularly into the client community, and I'm really pleased that we've got clients from consumer goods, from beverages, from telco, from retail, from financial services. That's a great start. But obviously there's a lot more clients out there, and I would like to get them into this conversation, and I think we'll work really hard next year to get more clients involved. And then I think there's a conversation potentially, or this is an event potentially for the wider business community. I think that we live at a time when creativity's never been more important, more valuable for all kinds of businesses, and indeed for government, and those organisations should be here. I think there's a lot to be learned, and there's a lot to be learned, and a lot to be gained by attending and contributing to an event like this. I think people should walk out of here a little straighter, a little taller, and certainly more positive and optimistic, and want to shake things up and change things. And that mental state inevitably will turn into some really great work, some really great outcomes. I think people will be surprised about what's happened with the award. I think we've achieved a lot in the last 12 months. There's a whole raft of new categories, and I think it was overdue that we looked carefully at all the categories and figured out where the gaps were. And it's not always about creating categories where there's already a lot of work. In some cases we created categories to encourage more work into those spaces. We overhauled the whole chairman of jury arrangement so that the committee wasn't automatically leading juries. We've got our first ever international chairman of judges with Eric Vervroegen this year. I think that's really exciting, and Eric made a great contribution on day one of Circus. I think for me, award is an opportunity for people to recognise and celebrate. And celebrate is a really important word in this, the very best work of the industry. And I think that we should all celebrate the best work, no matter whether we had a hand in it or not. It's great and reassuring and inspiring that people are doing wonderful things, despite the degree of difficulty, and they may well be the exception and not the rule, but the exceptions are highly motivating and very powerful, and that's what awards really about. It's a hard business, and doing great work is really demanding. But the fact that people are managing to do that is something that we should all rejoice in.